Hello again. Welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot and Astrology. I'm Denise, and today I want to dive into the Brothel bust and see what what can I find with the cards. I'm just going to ask a bunch of questions and see what comes through. Got to question things from all different angles, right? So anyway, let me swap my cameras here and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm using the Kipper. And primarily it seems like most of you, and we all want to know, was Trump involved in this? So if the mail card, main mail card comes through, that will be him. And if it does not, then we'll say probably not. Other than, he's surely been involved in money laundering and trafficking and all of that, I would think, just because, him being connected to Russian oligarchs and money laundering. But this specific situation appears to just be these three Asian men and about 20 clients, Johns, I guess we could call them. And the brothels were in Cambridge, and another area in Massachusetts, and then two areas in Virginia. They were not in California. That little misnomer came in because there was one of those three Asian, dudes that ran the brothels, who traveled back and forth from California. So, okay, just to clear that up. And then the other interesting thing, so I'm going off of an article that I saw in the Washington Post, and I did post it in the community section if you want to go there. It's been a couple days though, so you're probably gonna have to scroll down quite a bit. But anyway, what I remembered was that, or what I remembered that I thought was important, had to do with the fact that all the clients, the Johns, they had to, just in order to even make an appointment, they had to go through a huge process that included, all of their contact information, who they worked for, and even references, or at least one reference, I think it was. So that's what was put out in court. And they also had to put had to give a photo of themselves and, of course, credit card. So this will be at some point a part of public record. So anyway, okay. I'm going to do the 9 box and then work out around it if need be. But my first question is Trump involved? Because Karen Weaver was wanting to know if Trump is involved in this one. Goodness knows, he's capable of things like that. Okay, the center, of course, it was all about money. Don't need a psychic or a reader to give you that information, do you? Oh, there's the quickie little lie downs and the whole strategy for the money. So here's a perfect example of when this card doesn't mean bad health. Yeah. Okay, there's the discovery. There's the going back and forth between the brothels. Yeah, interesting. Ooh, all the documents, all the court findings. This would have to be the stand-in card for the young women. And of course, you know what? When you have these two cards together, well, usually the child card would be in there, but I was just thinking pregnancy, but nah, let that go. Sorry. I'm going to keep going because Trump's card hasn't come through, so I can't say that he's involved. What I do want to look at is, whether or not these men were involved in sex trafficking. And if any of these other people cards come through, well, actually, I might reshuffle to see if we can... Oh, here's Trump's card. Whoa. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and reshuffle when I get done with this one, and see if any of these Johns were, you know, in our politics. I think, if I remember right, it said it came from all walks of life, like government contractors. Those are the guys that had the security clearances. It didn't say top secret and military or top secret political. It didn't say that at all. It said government contractors. And of course government contractors have to have security clearances because they find out things about the government when they, you know, do their business. But they were saying in the article that they were elected officials and people in the military, and then the government contractors, and then other professionals, like even from tech professionals. That doesn't surprise me. So I stick with me, because I'm going to do this one's Trump's, and then I'm going to do political, and then I'm going to do tech, and see what we can find, because I'm interested in a couple of people. Okay, but for this one, of course the whole thing was about money. That's how they got caught. Interesting as to this mature woman. There were 3 men that were caught, but there's a woman involved somehow. And maybe what we have here is grooming. Let's do some more. Maybe what we have going on here is the whole grooming situation that they usually do. Yeah, now here we have pregnancy. Wow. Okay. So the important thing with this spread is that Trump is down here, and there is important discovery, and it could have to do, like Karen was wondering, is if he would bribe and extort people. You know, because she was talking about Noel Castler using his real estate business to entice people coming in. And of course, when he's, you know, any real estate contractor, they need inspectors. They need inspectors to sign off on permits and planning, you know, plan checks, things like that. And when that happens, or when that doesn't happen, bribery would usually be involved. This is a bit like a quid pro quo. It doesn't have to be money, but it could be other perks as well. I think it's both. And because it's hanging over Trump, and he's looking towards this painful loss, and what's behind him, we have the rules and regulations, and this is my card for a dear friend that I haven't heard from in a long time, Lisette. She taught me that this card is, when I first started reading Kipper, she said, this can mean, yes, it's official. So when I saw this card, I was just thinking of that. Lately I've been using it as my Jack Smith and Alex Whiting card, but in this situation, maybe Jack Smith does have some of that information that has to do with Trump. If that's the case, so on both levels, yes, it's official, and if it is Jack Smith and Alex Whiting, we could say, yes, they are loyally looking into all the people who were successful at this, and you know, the loyalty as to the money, the strategy, the overseas, you know, the big vision that came from overseas, and any foreign gifts. And of course, to the young women. This would be our stand-in card for all the young women, all the sex workers. I'm not going to call them prostitutes because I think that's cruel and mean. I'm going to call them sex workers because many times they've been, and the cards are conveying that right here, they've been brought in, they've been stolen from other countries, and they've been used. Look at this terrible, can you imagine being in this situation where you are just destitute and you need, you need to live. And so you try to go to another country, and what happens is that you're taken in, you're stolen, and you become trafficked. That is all right here, the trafficking. And that's what I was wondering about primarily, and that's what's come through in this first spread. So thank you to my guides for helping me line those cards up right for this one, or bringing the cards through in the right order. So that's all in there. Lots of little partnerships, or not a lot of little partnerships. I would say there were, oh, I just heard it's a tight circle. Okay, so it is a tight circle between foreign. That's so. This blows me away. I would have never thought that. If it's a, I would have just really never have thought that. But I'm getting that it's a tight circle of people who do this awful thing, and Trump is definitely involved, and it will be discovered. When you get these two cards together, this tells me it's going to be a part of public record. This tells me that what's sneaking up behind him is that he does have some digital recordings, or Karen was wondering about Blu-ray, DVD, well, any kind of DVD, I suppose. But first it's on a camera recording device, and then it can be transferred off of a server, to a thumb drive or a DVD. So there, there's that. But that's what's here. It's there digitally, and it's all discoverable. And so that's one part of it. And the other part of it has to do with the public records. Once the court process, once the judicial process is completed, it will be giving, names, I would think, unless a judge ends up blocking it. That can happen. But we'll check on this later. If if names don't come out readily once the trial's done, or the investigation. I would imagine they're still, they are definitely in the investigative process. And maybe that's what these two people are here, maybe they are in charge of the process, the investigation. But there will be, oh wait, I'm going to lose my train of thought if I go there. There will be, at some point, there would be I would think that there would be a trial. And then when there's a trial, it looks like things will come out. Because we have great strategy here, we have whomever this woman and this younger man's, well, and then Trump's even, their reputation here. Now, because this card knights to Trump, I would say that this is something that happened in Trump Towers, in Trump hotels. This is our card for hotels and tall buildings. And this could be even somebody, these two people could be people who worked for Trump. Hold on, excuse me. This is my card for subpoenas. So at some point, I'm thinking that he will have a subpoena of some type, or a deposition of some type. And if that's the case, I hope I'm right about this, you guys, but if that's the case, here's our Jack Smith, Alex Whiting card. And if if this does happen, it would verify that reading I got confirm the reading I got a long time ago that had to do with, I think it was one of Trump's weekly, it was, long time ago, one of his weekly readings, and the cards showed me clearly that Jack Smith, all of this was taking so much time because Jack Smith was getting he was doing a complete investigation into Trump's money laundering, crime syndicate, situation. So, yeah. And if we want to go visually with things, we could say sex ring right here. We've got a visual ring. If I were using the Lenormand, I would probably get the ring card. But I decided to use this because there's so many other pieces of information that I don't know that I could get from the Lennies. Wow. Okay. So here it is, Trump, married to the mob, all of that. Sad news for him when that comes out, when the subpoena comes out. And then again, all of this tied together with stealing younger people from other countries and trafficking them. Because or maybe they signed up for it as a way to get themselves out of poverty. It's sad when it happens on any level, but I think it's more about stealing them because we have the thievery card here. Yeah. And trying to change their success, but sometimes, but other times actually stolen. Sometimes they signed up, and most of the time they were stolen as a younger woman. It's all right here. And Trump's involved. Why does that not surprise me? Okay. So that's the main part. That's probably all many of you will care about. But I want to look and see. Let's see. Let me get these really mixed up. Let's see how many politicians. I'm going to do the politicians, and then I have to remember to do the tech guys after. How many politicians? And let's see if I can get any guidance as to where they hail from, right? Maybe even SCROTUS. Wouldn't surprise me at all. And then their billionaire friends like Harlan Crow and what was that, Paul Singer dude, and Leonard Leo, and there's just so many. It's really hard to name. I'm going to rely on my intuition if I hear someone's name. Okay, political and legal. How many, if any? I mean, it said, I remember it saying elected officials, military, government contractors. So let's look at the elected officials first. No, this one's popping out. Same card. You saw me shuffle. Okay. The ones who would take the risk. It's been going on for a long time. Wow. Somebody who's going to be locked up. So we're, okay, maybe we're talking about those people who voted to overturn the election. Yeah. Working, you know, now here's a card that brings through sex trafficking as well. Or human trafficking, I should say. Human trafficking would be a better way to say that. Or include that. It's a woman so far. Wow. Yeah, trying to steal an election. It's one of those 147. So to show you the list would be crazy to go through each one of them, but if anybody has a subscription to the New York Times, I remember there were 8 senators and 139 House members. Here are all their photographs, if you want to screenshot that and figure out who they are. But it's all listed in this article. And it was out January 7th, 2021, so the day after. These guys got nailed by the New York Times. The day after the insurrection. Okay, let's keep going here. Inner circle of crazy. Yeah. Here comes Trump again. Okay, I think it's pretty apparent. Wow. So this really could bring through that big scoop. Maybe this is part, because you know, you always get, whenever something surprising is going to happen, and I remember in the astrology, the weekly astrologies, I've been wondering what this Mars-Uranus opposition was going to be about. Mars over here in Scorpio and Uranus in Taurus, and that is the polarity of sex scandals. Sex and money scandals, actually. In Uranus creating a reversal of fortune, you know, has that effect. I've been wondering what it's going to be, and I'm just now, you know, hearing that you always get the little tidbits of clues ahead of time if you know, look at astrology. And now I'm wondering if the big shocking thing that, you know, other people have been predicting, that there's some big shocking thing that happens before the election. I wonder if this is it, and it's going to scoop up a bunch of people. I don't have, oh, I do too, right here. Here's Scrotus. Ooh, I don't know where to start. Let's start here. I should start with Trump, but let's start here. Scrotus. Confidences, there's at least one woman on the bench that knows, and somebody's going to be really surprised when that information comes through. Yeah, my goodness. So it's going to be discovered. It will be discovered, and it has everything to do with, here we go, with the sex trafficking and people being restricted. Somebody's going to go to prison for it, or be locked up or restricted or removed from the bench. And of course they're crazy. This card, when it comes through in the Kipper, is just like the Tower card. It's crisis, major crisis. And it's documented. There are recordings, there are digital videos, there are, you know what I'm saying? Got it all right here. Ruh-roh. Somebody on the bench. Ruh-roh. And of course, you know, these are the hidden enemies to America, and these are the people who've lied and cheated. Gee, I mean, Clarence Thomas for sure, I would think. Wow. Okay, so before I start at the center like I usually do, let's hang out with Trump a little while. Ugh. Anyway, receiving gifts from risky business practices is what I just heard there. Has been going on for a very long time. Bribery, extortion and bribery. So here we go. We are confirming the second time that Trump is involved, but I clearly get that it has everything to do with his inner circle and their strategy to, steal the election. Lies, cheating, stealing, masking, and the big vision, the big plan. The message card would be our stand-in card for vote. And remember, stealing the vote, right? Trying to steal the election, take it away from Biden, and the threats on Mike Pence's life. Yeah, so that's here clearly. This is interesting down here. I'm trying to actually, let me start up here with the first three. So Trump's inner circle, the 147, like I said, who voted to overturn the election. That's been established. That's the strategy. It was the risk. Trump didn't mind any of that, but it was his last, thing. He tried everything else first. Remember, he tried Brad Raffensperger. He tried. He had Steve Bannon doing all kinds of crap, and when push came to shove, at the last, January 6th, at the signing of the electoral count, which thank goodness they changed that law. That does now. It's just a formal ceremony, but it's not the actual not the actual thing that brings the next president in. So that's good. But anyway, that's what all this is here. Trump trying to negotiate his way in, of course, trying to negotiate his way to stay in the White House, even though he was leveled by the whole situation. This is him and his work. This is so interesting how it's like he's got his hand everywhere. Now, this is where I think with Karen's question about him extorting bribery and extortion later on, I would say you're right about that. And this is why so many of the GQP in the House and Senate, this would literally be why I would think it would be why it works. To say that he would. That's why they're so afraid of him. That it's the information he has on them. But then also, it's Russian money. For sure, these guys have taken Russian money, and that came through the NRA. I've said that so many times. It was. I'll say it again. It was September 27th, 2019, when the Senate Bipartisan Intel Committee deemed the NRA a foreign asset. Right? So there you go. Okay. So let's look at, I don't know if going into Do we want to go to military officers? Or do we want to go to well, I might as well. Okay, military officers. Military officers. Let's do that. This is going to be a long reading. Yeah, I'm already at 30 minutes. I don't know how else to do this, though. You know, you have to do them separately. At least for me. You know, maybe Linda G can get other hits from you guys, or for you guys. Or somebody who's hooked up that way, like her, or maybe Debbie over at Freebird Spirit. Or maybe something came through with Lori, because Lori, the Way of Positive Change, she did. I didn't get to watch her whole live stream yet, but she dove into it really deep. So I would go to her last, for sure, do that. She's highly accurate. I bet she got some names coming through. Okay, so military officers. Who might they be? See if I can get any names here. Military officers. Oh, I just heard Mike Flynn. Wow, okay. Now, he would be hooked up with government contractors too, wouldn't he? Wow. Wouldn't that be great if that's how that guy finally goes down? This one wants to come through. Okay, so the workers for the government, that would probably have to do with military officers, yeah. Government contractors and the officers. Okay. Well, a painful loss. It's going to be a painful loss. Change. Ooh, meetings. That's interesting. It'll come out. The partnerships will come out. The strategy is going to put the whole plan. It's going to put some people in prison, or restricted. This doesn't have to be imprisonment. It can just be that there's some restriction. Here's Michael Flynn. Okay. I don't think I need to do a whole lot more past this, but yeah. You saw me shuffle really well. Look at these repeating cards. Okay. Michael Flynn will be restricted. He already got that pardon from Trump, but this will get him. His work, his ability to work has already been ended, even though he had. Now, you guys, set me straight if I'm wrong on this, but what I'm getting is he really doesn't have much work anymore. Except on the black market. What the hell? Okay. Black market, that's a thing that I don't usually think about, like that term, except in the black market. Yikes. Okay, wait, more cards. Money, reputation, military. This is a military card. This is ambition, children. Wow. Okay. Children given. Oh, this is so sad. Michael Flynn has been involved in human trafficking. Okay, and maybe this will come out. Oh, if it's true, I so want it to come out. Because we have the message of, sad news, message of concern card, it looks to me like it will come through. But this has to do with making a great fortune off of people who are not able to make their, even make ends meet, make a healthy living, and painful loss. I guess what would change that painful loss would be, well, not really. I don't know that they would be paid really well. Yeah. I imagine that in this situation they would have been the higher end type of call girls, though, right? The higher end sex workers. But maybe what we're seeing here with the cards is how they came to be in that position. Maybe they were sex trafficked, human trafficked at a young age, because this child card keeps coming through. And again, that ring, you know, that ring and this successful outcome for this ring. And the grooming is what I'm hearing with this card. And the partnership. And these younger people who are in helpless situations. And again, when you have these two cards touching and the child card, these are the three, just in case you want to learn Kipper a little bit, these are the three primo cards, because this is a card for a pregnancy. These two cards together are pregnancy. You have all three of them together, somebody got pregnant, and it's documented, and Michael Flynn's implicated there. Now remember, this isn't Trump's reading. We already did one on him, and he came through the second one. But this is Michael Flynn, because that was my intention, as if the man card came through. Okay, so that he's just one of the big ones in the elected officials. There are others, and there's a younger guy. I don't have an older guy here. Now, Eric Prince could possibly be this guy, because this would be somebody under 55. I think that's about Eric Prince's age, but I could totally be wrong on that. This is somebody anywhere from, young man to 55 years old. Okay. Someone who, now look at this here with Michael Flynn putting these people in these terrible situations, restricting them, and that was his strategy, and he got money for it, and then this travel card, traveling, putting them in different areas of the world. It's a plan that had been documented or developed and documented, right, for a long time. And it could take, often the cards to the right of the pathway card indicate that it can take a couple of years, 2 years, up to 2 years to get to that subpoena place for Michael Flynn. Wow. Okay. We don't have any women in this reading as far as the people cards. So, yeah, okay. Military offers, Michael Flynn, and possibly, and you guys pick up with your own intuition too, because I know that a lot of people are very psychic who watch my readings, and even if you don't have your own channel, everyone has their own guidance system. So if you pick up, who this younger person could be, just go from anywhere between, 18 and 55, who would be a military officer. Now, an officer would be an older guy. This is Michael Flynn. You would think an officer would be an older guy. But I think that this is Eric Prince, and he's definitely a government contractor too. Now I'm kind of wondering about that lady that we had in the other reading, like maybe that was Betsy DeVos, because I've gotten that before a long time ago that she was involved in child trafficking. Okay, last one, tech. So here's where I have to set some intentions, okay? So within the tech industry, I'm going to Say, if the younger guy under 55 comes through, that would be my wondering about Mark Zuckerberg. And yes, I said his name right. Hold on, I gotta get this shuffled really good. Okay. And then if it's the older guy, if there's an older guy, well, I don't know how old Elon Musk is. I'm thinking he's 51, but I have to assign him to some card. So I'll just assign him as the main man. If the main man comes through, that is Elon Musk. Jeff Bezos could be in there too, couldn't he? But, you know, he's got his new wife, so I kind of doubt. I don't get a feel for him on that. Zuckerberg is so cut off from his humanity, nothing would surprise me with him. And his wife is Asian, so we know he does like Asian women. But if the older man comes through, I don't know who that'll be. I'll just have to wait and see if I can get anything on that. I'm not so adept in the tech industry. Okay. Okay. There's our center card. Well, someone who doesn't mind stealing things. Mark Zuckerberg didn't mind stealing the election. Remember when he gave Trump a discount? Remember after the 2016 election, before the 2020 election, while Trump was in the White House, Zuckerberg went and visited him. And the next thing that happened is that Biden had to pay 9 times more than Trump did for advertising on Facebook. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, and thank you for all the Cambridge Analytica bullshit you put out there. Thank you for all the propaganda that came straight from Putin through you. There you go. There's human trafficking. Ooh. Okay, so there's an older dude. I don't think that's Elon, because remember I set him as the main male. Man, these cards have trafficking in there. Again with that inner circle. Okay, so within the tech industry, somebody who owns a lot of real estate, well, has a really stable, secure foundation. I think that's kind of like Elon. Oh my goodness. For entertainment purposes only. This is an entertainment channel. This is just my guidance. These could be false allegations. Oh my, oh my, oh my. So Elon's there. And there's going to be proof at some point, possibly. Wow. Oh my goodness, these are all crooked. Oh. Okay, that's good enough. So, wow. Right in the center, thievery, and it knights down to Elon. All this is weighing down on him. What's sneaking up behind his back is proof. This would be him being named in the court papers. I think we're long past, well, I could be wrong, but I'm hoping we're long past those days when, oh, I hear my guides laughing. No, we're not past those days when judges can just be bought off. Because I think that's what happened with that other case. Remember the DC madam? Their whole case, that was a huge thing that happened with the, D.C., Washington, Washington, D.C. people. I'm sorry, Washington, D.C., I think they called them elites. And one of them was definitely a sitting senator. Of course, we did have that Menendez guy finally get busted for embezzlement. That was on the Dem side. But yeah. But anyway, the judge blocked everything, so those records never got released. It would be nice if it came out, but there was only one sitting senator. So, you know what I could do is use the Lenny's after to try and get numbers as to like how many people. But out of that 147, there's a lot there. But anyway, so this one's for tech. Okay. Documentation, videos, all of that. Elon Musk. I don't have the other, the younger dude, so I can't say that Mark Zuckerberg's in here. This wouldn't surprise me at all with Elon Musk. I mean, he has like 11 children, and I think has been married 8 times or 8 partners. And he believes that we should all populate the earth as much as possible, because without that, the human race is going to die. Oh, God. Yeah, sure. He just wants more people to spend money that he can get. He wants more slave. He wants to be the slave master. So anyway, he's got a painful loss coming down on him at some point. He's been, man, sitting in this guy's energy is really dark. Oh. He's got a painful loss coming down because of his quid pro quo behavior, and because of his just taking little pieces of money anywhere he could get it. And with the family room card here, oh my goodness, it's not just him, it's his family's karma. It's his karma and his family's karma. So something with his parents that are involved somehow. Wow. And it might also be that he knows that there could be others that, he knows this inner circle. What's hanging over him is at some point being helpless. Now, when it comes to timing, it could be that within 3 to 5 months we find out something about this. His safety and not safety, but his security and his stability are at risk with this, if this information ever does come out about him. That's the problem with these super uber wealthy dudes is they, it's usually just any amount of money. They'll get people to shut up, like that judge with the D.C. Madam case. Of course, he got paid off. He or she, whoever it was. But this is Elon Musk's work, how he's worked to document things. I wonder if he would use these things as, this could be like, catch and kill situations with the information and the evidence coming out. But it could also be that that he has worked within this whole, stealing younger women. We've got children here. We've got a child here and younger women up here. Like, is he involved in this whole, what does Sarah Kensinger call it? The transnational crime syndicate. She calls it the transnational money laundering crime syndicate. That wouldn't surprise me at all, you know, because when they have a person has that much, you know, those many, what does he have? 144 billion, something like that. Can't remember who's the richest one. It's either him or Jeff Bezos, and Zuckerberg's up there, but not as far, I don't think. You guys have to clue me in on that. Anyway, Elon Musk is looking towards his karma coming back to him to visit within his home, his own four walls, his homes, and his family. And this very well could be his father here. But I don't know if his father's in tech. And these two cards here can be our stand-in cards for any older woman over 55 and a man over 50, any woman or man over 55 in the tech industry. I'm not getting a hit on who they are yet. Probably someone that I just don't know their names at all. The clues as to who they are, though, are maybe someone who's already been busted, like maybe that, what's her name, remember the Theranos or whatever that, remember that gal? That was biotech. Okay, but anyway, up here we have the investigation into the risky ways of using child trafficking to make money, and the moving them back and forth between, or the younger people who have been destitute that are, you know, within this crime ring, but they're the sex workers, and that's all here. I mean, that's really sad. And how they've been moved around. And that's what's going to come out. Again, this like transnational, the only card that we have missing here is yeah, it's not at the other end. I'll show you this one right here. Like if I were to, if I would have, well, let's do that. Let's just keep going. We'll go from 21 cards to 28 cards. Now there's a younger guy. Now there's Zuckerberg. Now it was going to be my Zuckerberg card. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so much around the movement, but the investigation is into the risky behavior, and again with the people who are just destitute and trying to survive. Oh, and if this is Zuckerberg, he's been really good at hiding it. But if this is him, then he's also very concerned about it coming out, because over here things are sneaking up behind Elon Musk. Man. Wowee. And well, they all have children. That's not surprising at all. But something secret about children. And then this whole vertical here, you know, these are the kids that can't, well, no kid can make it on their own, but when they've been human trafficked at a young age, you know, the change, moving around all the time. God. And somebody ambitiously making money off of it. Wowee. So right at the heart of the reading, again, with the stealing younger people and younger, so young and even, you know, this would be any woman childbearing age, right? Sexually, possibly sexually active, and how painful, what a painful loss of their human life to be free. You know, they did not have that type of freedom. What this tells me, though, is that somebody's going to speak up. Somebody's going to give the information, and it will. That's how it's going to lead to Elon Musk, and hopefully this really is, you know, Mark Zuckerberg out on the fringe over here. But yeah, of course, would that take down his whole media empire? I don't know. And I would rather just see it taken away from him rather than it taken down, because there's a lot of people that have their businesses and things set up that way to be on Facebook and Instagram. But anyway, there's some young woman that's going to blow the cover on this whole ring, this whole karmic, you know, whole karmic thing where these young people are working under just toil and labor here. And then if I, you know, go with extra cards, these extra 2 columns, this is working, coming from people coming from other countries, foreign workers, quickies, you know, and they're like married into this. It's like a business arrangement, and all of that. Elon Musk. Wow. Okay. I don't think I, excuse me, have any more to say, actually. Just that the investigation will bring through a lot. So, okay, I'm just going to get this uploaded. Oh, long reading. Could have done a grand tableau, but I had to read on all the different categories separately. So, if you made it to the end, high five. Take good care, you guys. Hope you're having a good Sunday. Bye.